My key takeaway from my conversation with Kaia was the passion. She represents the passion that so many young people that the education system has failed has. The passion to kind of reconnect with her ancestral heritage, the passion to actually know herself. And I think it actually just shows the need for representation across the board, the need for young people to actually learn about their cultures, their heritage, the people before them, and because that actually helps them form their identity. And what I really, really admire is that she did not let the fact that education failed herself, and then through that has taken that to actually like not only just empower herself, but empower others and actually fight for change. And being 21 and sitting in rooms and actually going into offices with people that have been 20 years plus in their careers and telling them how to, and guiding them, insisting them on how to actually make change when it comes to anti-racism policy, making their organisations actually a powerful thing to have at 21. This is actually a job that a lot of people that I know in the industry do at like 40, 50. No one does it at our ages. So it's actually really powerful to see that, you know, there's a young person's voice in there. And as a Black woman as well, it's very rare that you even get to enter those spaces and actually have those discussions and do it in a decolonial way, and not like, because when I think about EDI, sometimes it's not done well, but to do it in a way that is actually benefiting the community and the organisation is actually just powerful. So having spoken to Kaia about her work, it has had me reflecting on my work. It makes me more motivated to continue, because I think, like I said before, like when you think about anti-racism work, it can be like very scary to go in when you're in your early teens and like early 20s and you started your career, because a lot of people are older than you. And sometimes it can be scary because you feel like, why do they want to hear from you? Why would this young person tell me how to run my company and how to change policy? But knowing that there's other young people that actually do the same role and go into the space and actually take up space and own the space allows me to own the space unapologetically. And because I'm the only person like in my friendship group that does anti-racism work, a lot of my friends they are creators, but their work is kind of different, you know. But for me to just know that there's actually somebody else like that I can actually go to and have conversations with and exchange notes and kind of have like a support system to know there's actually another young Black woman doing similar work to me makes me feel comfortable in the space, to know that I actually have a sister in Kaia and be able to be like, this is what I'm going through, exchange notes, and how do we support each other, navigate the next 20 years, 30 years of our journey and our careers. Having a conversation with Kaia has actually allowed me to challenge the way that I manage my mental health and well-being, because this is kind of like a new territory for me. And the one thing that she said is having boundaries with yourself first. And I think it speaks to the fact that even though I'm here having this podcast and talking about how mental health and well-being is important, but I have to go back and reflect on my mental health and well-being, like especially coming off of social media, because majority of my work is based on social media. The majority of my information comes on social media, and sharing with people posts that I see that are educational, but also it's also allowed me to put that into my own time as well in the day, come off of social media, whether it's don't go social media in the morning or don't go social media in the evening. It's not something that I should wait until I'm burnt out. It's like, I'm not going on it off a month, but I should just every single day, I should have a social media break. And it's also made me think about what practices do I put in place during the day to make sure that my mental health is safe and it's protected, not working myself on until 12 o'clock in the night, or just taking breaks and actually like maybe going for a walk and turning my phone off and really just spending time with myself. And another boundary I would love to set is not speaking about politics, because I think everywhere I go, because I'm actually someone that's so passionate about politics and, you know, international relations, people always want to ask me, what do you think about this and what do you think about that? And because I'm so passionate, I can go on a tangent for long. And it's like I've left the conversation with a friend, but all we did was speak about politics. And it's like, but I just came off of work and it's political. So having that boundary to be like, actually, when I go out with my friends, please can we have times where we don't have political discussions and we could just talk about ourselves without talking about what's going on in the world. So I really do need to go reflect on my mental health and well-being journey. I would like the viewers to take away from that episode is when it comes to, especially young people that are doing change making and activism, I would love the viewers to, if you know a young person or you're around a young person that's passionate about that, support them, pour into them, but also protect them. And a way you could do that is also making sure that you're checking up on them, like especially when it comes to their well-being and their mental health, because you might see that young person think they're just like, you know, Superwoman or Superman, and they just keep going and going and going. But sometimes it's important to ask yourself, is actually, how is that young person? Check up on them, just protect them, because as Kaia said, putting yourself on the front line can be dangerous as well, and it could be overwhelming. And that young person has actually given up, so much of their youth to actually fight for social change, because it takes up so much of your time. So I think it's important that you support them from the beginning and don't just see them as just or either they're too young to do this or to know what they're talking about, but also at the same time making sure that you're holding them accountable when it comes to their mental health and well-being. So asking them, when was the last time you took a break? When was the last time you took a holiday? When did you do this and when did you do that? How can I support you? How can I assist? And showing up as well. And I think it's so important from the older generation as younger people is you guys show up to what we do, because we don't only just do this for our generation, we do this to continue a legacy. We do this so your stories stay alive. So especially the older generation in our community, please show up and support us and pour into us and pray over us and pass on knowledge as well, and also teach us things that you wish you did right, so that we don't have to walk this journey the same way you did it. Just protect us, because we actually want you guys to protect us, but sometimes I feel like the older generation can think that we feel like we know more than they do, and that's not the case. We're just trying to continue a legacy. So with my conversation with Kaia, yes, my beliefs when it comes to mental health have been challenged, and I think for me, it will go back to that collective, having a group of people to do it with, because I feel like, especially when you're in the activism change-making space, the healing it can be separate, but it should not all of it should be. We should do it together, heal together, and we should protect each other and look after each other, and also facilitate spaces where we are checking on each other's mental health and well-being, because it is actually something that we can't do alone. We have to actually do it together, because at the end of the day, all of us sitting here understanding the fact that we're sharing the same, me and Kaia share the same experiences. How we came up was through the education system, our activism started the same. There's so much in common that we have, and we wouldn't have known that if we didn't come together and have this conversation. So yes, it's important, to have your counselling and to make sure that you have your alone time, but it's also important that we cultivate spaces that, as young change makers or change makers in general, across the generations, that we come together and we heal together and we grow together and we take care of our mental health and hold each other accountable. We need to be each other's pillar in our community, because we have to work together, because change has to happen together, and it shouldn't happen separately. Neither shouldn't checking up on each other's mental health and well-being should not happen separately. It should happen as a collective, because that way we can actually make sure that we're all giving our all to the cause, because we're all fighting for the same thing. We just all want a better world for our kids and our grandkids. My 3 words I'll use to summarise my conversation with Kaia are passion, love, and ancestors. Thank you so much, guys, for listening to this podcast. Thank you for listening to episode 2 of The Other Side of Hope. I appreciate every single one of you coming on this journey with me and continuing this journey. And I think one thing I want you guys to take away is support your local activists and change makers in their community. Check up on them, provide them help, and really just be the community that they need, because they're actually fighting not only for themselves but for you. So it's important that we have full community support throughout our careers, because then that's the only way that we can stay saying you guys are our hope. So we need to know that our hope is supporting us. So thank you so much, and like I said, look forward for episode 2 and check episode 3 and check out episode 3 coming soon. Thank you.